Hello and welcome to TV Sapienza News. I am Oluchi Ojo Bamidele. On the news today, the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC says that the continuous voter registration exercise in Anambra State will begin on July 8, 2025, ahead of the governorship election scheduled for November 8, 2025. Speaking at the INEC State Office in Awka, the resident Electoral Commissioner Dr. Elizabeth Agu clarified that the exercise was strictly for the upcoming governorship election and not connected to the senatorial and House of Assembly by-elections slated for August 16 this year. According to her, the voter registration exercise will run daily from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., including Saturdays, but excluding Mondays, and will end on July 17. Dr. Agu called on eligible residents of Anambra State to come out in large numbers to register or update their voter information. She further said that the INEC will not register anyone by proxy or accept payments for registration, warning the public against fraudulent practices. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has concluded his four-day official state visit to Saint Lucia and departed for Brazil to attend the 17th BRICS Summit in Rio de Janeiro. The president will participate as a representative of Nigeria, which holds the status of a partner country in BRICS, an upgrade from its previous guest status. During his four-day state visit to Saint Lucia, President Tinubu achieved several significant milestones that strengthened diplomatic, economic, cultural, and educational ties between Nigeria and Saint Lucia. Amongst the achievements of the Nigerian leader in Saint Lucia is the establishment of formal diplomatic relations between Nigeria and Saint Lucia, marking a historic step in bilateral cooperation and opening avenues for enhanced trade, investment, tourism, education, and cultural exchange. In Enugu State, the governor, Dr. Peter Mba, has called on journalists to leverage artificial intelligence to enhance reporting and strengthen their role as watchdogs of public accountability. Speaking at the State House press call, two-day capacity building retreat and workshop themed Artificial Intelligence Utilization for Effective Journalism, the governor highlighted the importance of truth, accountability, and innovation in the media's pursuit of good governance. He acknowledged the challenges posed by misinformation and the misuse of AI, but urged journalists to view AI as a tool for smarter and more innovative journalism. Governor Mba urged journalists to reaffirm their editorial courage and originality, cautioning against excessive reliance on AI, such that may hinder creativity. In Lagos State, resident doctors at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba, have said that they will embark on a one-week warning strike over poor welfare. The doctors, under the aegis of the Association of Resident Doctors, in a communique issued on Friday, signed by its president, Babarinsa O.A., and secretary, Disu Kebi, stated that it is not acceptable for the newly employed resident doctors to continue working into their 6th month without being paid. They said that they would proceed on an indefinite strike should the newly employed resident doctors not be paid by the end of July 2025. The association frowned at what they describe as the now-established pattern of newly employed resident doctors having to work for 5 to 6 months before receiving their first salaries. This, they said, was deemed unacceptable for the welfare of doctors and detrimental to clinical practice. On health news today, the Edo State government has confirmed the outbreak of dengue fever with 86 cases already recorded across the state. This is as the state is also battling an outbreak of Lassa fever, which has claimed 24 lives from 137 confirmed cases since the beginning of this year. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Cyril Shomole, who made this known during a press briefing in Benin City, announced that an emergency operations center had been activated, including surveillance, case management, vector control, and environmental sanitation in affected areas to contain the spread of the dengue fever. He also said the Director of Public Health in the state, Dr. Stevenson Ojefo, had been appointed as the incident manager to lead the response effort. He explained that dengue fever is a viral infection transmitted by 8 mosquitoes and spreads rapidly in areas with stagnant water and poor sanitation. He, however, urged residents to keep their surroundings clean, destroy mosquito breeding sites, cover water containers, use insect repellents, and sleep under mosquito nets. Some indigenes of Hajj, an oil-rich community in Imo State, on Thursday took to the streets to protest years of environmental degradation and the arrest of a youth leader, Obinna Wabu. The protest, organized under the umbrella of Obwako Haji, a social cultural organization and supported by other community associations, was due to the growing frustration over the area's living conditions and perceived exploitation by oil firms. In a joint statement signed on Friday by the key community leaders, Chairman of the Obwako or Haji People's Forum, Fidelis Enya, General Secretary Theodore Amonwa, among others, demanded the immediate and unconditional release of Nwabo, who has been on trial in Abuja since his arrest on March 8 this year. Enya, who was the leader organizer of the protest, said the arrest of Obinna Nwabo is a deliberate act of intimidating aimed at silencing those who dare to challenge the company's exploitative practices. They accused an oil firm in the area selling Global Exploration and Production Limited of subjecting the community to years of harmful oil and gas exploration, alleging that its operations have wreaked havoc on the region's environment, livelihoods, and well-being. The community leaders demanded a comprehensive cleanup of all polluted areas alongside concrete commitments to prevent further environmental damage, while calling on substantial investment in infrastructure, healthcare, education, and job creation to address rising unemployment in the state. In response, a spokesperson for Selling Global Exploration and Production Limited, Chidoke Oku, dismissed the protest as politically motivated. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, has reassured the Nigerian Army's commitment to education and community development, saying this at the commissioning ceremony of a renovated multi-purpose science laboratory at Government Day Secondary School, Jaji, in Kaduna State. Oluyede emphasized the importance of education in shaping the future of the community. Represented by the Commander Training and Doctrine Command Major General Kelvin Alibe, he said the renovated laboratory is part of the Nigerian Army's Civil-Military Cooperation Initiative aimed at improving the lives and educational standards of host communities across the country. The project, which is in commemoration of the 2025 Army Day celebration, include the provision of laboratory equipment, consumables, a generator, and water borehole repair. He, however, urged the school community to maintain the facilities to enhance the educational well-being of students. The Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has appealed to the federal government to release the report of the forensic audit carried out on the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Wike made the appeal during an interview where he was speaking on the performance of a former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi, as a Minister of Transport under the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. He claimed the report was shelved to protect those who might be indicted in any form of fraud. Wike also accused the wife of the former governor of benefiting from the government when her husband was in power, but did not provide evidence. This, he said, will help to identify mismanagement, misappropriation of funds, and other irregularities. Kenya is planning to privatize some state assets through initial public offerings in order to bring in more private sector investment, President William Ruto said in remarks at the London Stock Exchange. President Ruto noted that the government plans to start the listing of Kenyan pipeline companies through an IPO on the Nairobi Security Exchange this year. According to him, the government is committed to structured, time-sensitive program that identifies and prepares a robust pipeline of key government assets to be privatized through the stock exchange or improved through private sector participation. He further said that well-functioning domestic capital markets could reduce reliance on external debt. An explosion at a petrol station in Rome suburb on Friday has left about 45 people hurt, 2 of them seriously, and rattled windows across the Italian capital. Guterres visited the charred and smoking remains of the petrol and liquefied natural gas station and an adjacent sports center in the eastern Rome. The explosion sent a fireball and thick black smoke into the air and was heard on the other side of Rome, shaking windows and causing some residents to worry that a bomb had gone off. It was revealed that before the explosion, emergency services were called to investigate the gas leak and had evacuated the immediate area, including a children's summer camp. Rome police and journalists said about 21 of the 45 injured were from the emergency services, including 12 police officers. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni offered her sympathy to the injured and praised first responders for their quick work that helped avoid the tragic events from having even more serious consequences. On sports news today, Kano State Governor Alhaji Abba Kabir Yusuf has approved the reconstitution of the management board of Kano Pillars Football Club, naming Nigerian football icon Ahmed Musa as the club's new general manager. The appointment, announced in a statement by the governor's spokesperson Sunusi Bature, is part of a renewed effort to reposition the club and strengthen its performance ahead of the new Nigerian Premier Football League season. Ahmed Musa, a former captain of the Super Eagles and long-time supporter of Kano Pillars, is expected to bring his vast experience and leadership qualities to revitalize the team. Governor Yusuf expressed confidence in the new leadership, stating that the combination of seasoned board members and Musa's dynamic influence will help propel the club to greater success in upcoming season. Marcus Rashford, Anthony Alejandro Garnacho, Malaysia and Jadon Sancho have informed Manchester United that they will not be part in the club side in the coming season. The players had fallen down the pecking order with the arrival of Ruben Amorim in November last year. The news of their planned departure was announced by sports journalist Fabrizio Romano on his official X platform on Friday. Manchester United has revealed that the quintet would still have access to the training centers should they find it difficult to find a new club within the coming weeks. Rashford, who spent the second half of the last season on loan at Aston Villa, has had his number 10 jersey handed over to the new €62.5 million signing Matthew Cunha, further deepening the rift between both parties. To end the news, here are the major news headlines for today. The Independent National Electoral Commission says that the continuous voter registration exercise in Anambra State will begin on July 8 this year and ahead of the governorship election scheduled for November 8, 2025. An explosion at a petrol station in Rome on Friday has left about 45 people hurt, 2 of them seriously, and rattled windows across the Italian capital. Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho, Malaysia and Jadon Sancho have informed Manchester United that they will not be part in the club side in the coming season. And that was the TV Sapientia News at 1. On behalf of the technical and editorial crew, I am Oluchi Ojobamidele. Thank you and for having us here on TV Sapientia. Bye for now.